Hey guys, so I see this all the time. People asking what kind of website should they have, which web platform is the best, and I thought I would break it down and showcase how you could actually launch a really effective, well-designed, and SEO optimized website in maybe about 30 minutes. So first things first, I want to cover some basic ideas with websites. There's the domain name, web host, and then your web builder. So if you can think of it like this, think of it as your domain being the street address of your plot of land, your web host being that plot of land, and your web builder the house that you're going to put on that plot of land. Okay, so we have three things that we're looking to do here when we're looking at a website if we're starting completely from scratch. Now, if you're a business owner, you probably already have a domain, you might already have a web host, and you might already have a website, but you might be really unhappy with one of those three things. So first things first, I'm going to go over, there's 5 steps that we're going to cover with this website builder and how we're going to actually launch this effective website. And I'm going to go over those tools real quick, and then we'll go over each 5 steps. And I have a few bonus setups. Before I jump into this, I do want to say that we're going to be actually focusing on developing a WordPress site. 40% of the internet is actually on a WordPress site. That's a huge market share. And there's a reason why such a majority of the internet are on WordPress sites. It's because they're really, really effective website builders. They're open source, meaning that we can actually add plugins to make it even more effective, make it optimized for speed, optimized for SEO, things like this. Now, with that said, I'm going to jump over a few things that we're going to be looking at. I'm going to go over an example of a web host. I'm going to be looking at Greengeeks. There are so many web hosts out there. A lot of them are really rock solid. I personally really like Greengeeks. I've had a lot of really great success with them. I like them because of their price point. Their service is incredible. It's probably one of the best services that I've ever had with web hosts, and the speed with the site out of the box comes really, really, really well developed. It's a really fast, effective site right out the gate without any sort of optimization. And I have no affiliation. I know it says affiliates up here, but I don't have an affiliate link with any of these platforms. This is purely just to help folks. We're looking at a WordPress hosting package. So I'm going to click hosting, WordPress hosting. I can scroll down here and there are 3 different tiers. We're going to be looking at light because that's really all we need. I'm on the $4.95 package, but that's because I have more than one website. So we're just focusing on this. We can get started for this. It's $2.95. And if you notice down here, there's actually a free domain name for 1 year, for the first year. So if you actually don't have a website and you don't have a domain, you can actually get a free domain right here using Greengeeks. So we're going to go over how to actually set all that up, but we're also going to cover a few more things. The other thing that I want to cover is what we're going to use as our builder. Now, I mentioned that we're using a WordPress site, and WordPress right out the get-go does come with some stuff built in, but we're actually going to build out an even better site by purchasing a theme from Elegant Themes called Divi. Divi is really, really, really impactful. Comes with a ton of designs. I think it's like 30,000 designs or something like that. There's a lot of really impressive stuff going on with Divi. I have it for all of my sites that I have. And what's really great is that it's a one-time purchase, or you can actually get a monthly service. So you could pay a yearly service. You can pay $89 a year for this, or we can pay one time $249. You don't really need pro services. In comparison to these are the most popular WordPress builders: Elementor, Visual, Composer, Breakdance, Beaver Builder, and Asada. I've used almost every single one of these, and I can tell you that I like Divi the most. Again, no affiliation. This is purely for recommendation if you're really struggling with where to start. Now, those are the 2 things that we're going to be focusing on. When we get Greengeeks, when we have that word, those web hosts, we can actually get WordPress a part of the package. If you search WordPress by itself, you'll see that WordPress is something like $30 a month. Don't ever purchase WordPress from the WordPress site itself. Always get WordPress from a web host. I know that might be a little confusing if you don't understand the nuances. Just understand that most host platforms allow you to launch WordPress as a part of their package. That's why we're going to be looking at Greengeeks. So far we're looking at around $3 a month with our website so far, which is an extremely small fee. Once you're actually inside of Greengeeks, there's going to be 2 things that you can do. let me go here to domains. I can either register a brand new domain or I can transfer a domain. So if you need to register a brand new domain, this is going to be a situation where you don't have a website whatsoever, you don't have a URL or anything like that, and you want to buy a new domain. So if you were to do that, you can just go register domain. You can do name of travelagency.com, and you can look it up, buy it. And usually these are like $12 a year. Anything more than that, it might be $20. Some sites, if the name is already registered and it's for sale, that's when you're going to see like a much higher package. But across the board, if it's available, it's going to be about $12 annually. And if you sign up for Greengeeks, that's going to actually be a part of the package. All right. So same thing goes for majority of web hosts. It should come with a free domain name for that first year. That's a pretty standard procedure. Okay, so what if you already have a domain? What you would want to do is you would click transfer domain. You would enter your name, enter your email, enter the name of your domain, and you would have to get your EPP transfer code. This is maybe the most complex thing out of this whole process. If you don't know what this is, you can just copy this, go to Google, and type in EPP transfer code, and then whatever the name of your current web host is. You're basically moving your web host to another web host. And if you do that, I recommend doing this during maybe downtime or outside of your work hours for your business, because what tends to happen when we move from one host to another is it can take up to 24 hours for what's called our DNS to propagate. Basically what this means, it's basically moving that address to a new plot of land, and it takes a little bit of time for the internet to understand all of those movements. So if you move your domain to a new host and you go to your domain and it's saying that the domain is unavailable or anything like that, that's perfectly normal. That just means that your DNS is propagating. So just a fair warning, if that happens, if you decide to do all of this stuff, that's what's going on. If you don't have a domain and you're starting completely from scratch, you don't have to worry about any of this. All right. So that is probably the most complex part of all of this. From here on out, it's really, really simple stuff. Once you actually have your domain registered with whoever you're using as your web host, you're going to go to the domain and you can go ahead and manage. So most of these are really similar to one another. Obviously, I'm using Greengeeks, but if you're on something like Cloudflare, GoDaddy, Squarespace, well, you can use Squarespace as a host platform, but I wouldn't use it as a builder. Once you're actually in your domain name and you're managing it, what you need to do is go to whatever variation of launching your WordPress site is going to look like. With Greengeeks, it's super simple. What we would actually do is just go down here to Start Wizard, and we can actually select the name of our website, migrate the site, build the starter site, and then within 1 minute, less than a minute, you actually can launch your WordPress site. Once you do this, once you've complete this quick launch wizard, you're going to be greeted with something that's just like this, and you can actually manage your site. You'll go to WordPress, you'll go to install and manage, and you can actually pick whichever site that you have and go to the WordPress dashboard. This is signing into the WordPress site from the back end, but what you can do as well is you can type in the name of your URL, /WP admin, and you can sign in that way. There's 2 ways to sign in. Now we have a WordPress site, and most sites will come pre-built with something that's like this. Let me go ahead and pull something out. Most WordPress sites are going to come with this. Right off the get-go, you can have a site with this builder, and this is bare bones stuff with WordPress. And now this is where I'm recommending to actually add an advanced plugin so that you can have more designs and make it a lot more user-friendly. From here, all we need to do from our WordPress site is actually go, let me move my face here, down to plugins, and then we can move on to Divi. So we're going back to this elegant themes page, and when we sign in and join, we can go to our account, and actually download the package. So I'm going to pause this, load up my account, and show you what we do from there. All right, so I have my account loaded. When you load in your account, you're going to be greeted by a members area. And you can download either one of these and you can utilize this for your builder within WordPress. So I've already downloaded this. I'm just going to download the plugin and I'm also going to download the theme. From here, what we're going to do is we're going to go to WordPress. Let's move back to our WordPress. We're in our plugin page. And all we need to do is click add new plugin. And then we're going to upload plugin. We're going to choose our file. And we're going to choose that file that we just downloaded. It's going to look like this. We're going to go ahead and open, and then we can actually start to install it. And once it's installed, this will fail because I already have it installed. But once this installs, now you can actually use your Divi stuff as your main builder for your WordPress. So you can see here it failed, completely expected. So if I go back to, let me move my face here. If I go here to appearances, I can see here that I have the Divi theme, and this is already set as my default. Now let's talk about how we can actually launch a brand new page using the Divi Builder, and we can actually get started with that website creation. So we're going to go here to pages, and we're going to go to add new page. And we'll go ahead and hit home page test just because this is actually a live website. We'll name the title of this page. This is all we have to do on the WordPress. And then we're going to do use Divi Builder. And then from here, it's actually going to launch a ton of templates for us to choose from. So I'm going to go ahead and click choose a pre-made layout. And you can see here we have a lot of layouts. This is continuously adding. So we have 368 layouts to choose from. If we want to do travel, we can do travel. There's a bunch of travel versions. Our travel agent page is a version of this. I've built on top of this. This has been the core page that I used for our travel agency. So if I click this and use this layout, this is just going to pull the home page, but I can do the same exact thing that I just did for my contact us page, for our about us page, for our services, things like that. I'm going to pause this while this loads if I can. And yeah, let me see if I can pause that while. All right, so the site has started to load. We can now see that we have the design in place and we can make changes to this as we want. And if we want to save this, we would just save this draft. But you can see how easy this is to actually use by clicking on these boxes. Most modern web builders are just like this. We can click on each asset and make adjustments. We can hit the settings, we can change these images, things like that. We can also get a top level overview of how the site is built out. This is a little bit more maybe advanced if you don't understand what's going on, but the core product of a website is built out with columns, rows, and sections. And here we have a section. This blue is a section, the green is a column. So anything here, you can see that it highlights that column. I can make changes here and I can adjust each one of these images. Now with like anything, there's a slight learning curve to anything that we use, any tech that we use, but as you get used to this system, I think you'll find that it's really user-friendly. This is the platform that I use to really get an understanding of how to build websites, and I've found that it's the most user-friendly than any other web builder that I've had experience with. So much so that I've decided to use this as our main website builder. So you can actually just upload all of those pages to build out your website. And then from there, you can continuously add on to it and you can make that page your home page. The last thing that I'll show you with just building your site out is how to actually make it your home page. If I go to themes here, sorry, not themes. If I go to customize under appearances, if I go to customize, and I go to general settings, and I go to site identity, I can add the name of the title, I can give me my tagline, and I can also adjust my layouts here. But more importantly, if I go back and let's see here, I adjust my homepage settings, I can add the name of that page. So I can go here, add page. I can say, I think I called it test, and I can add it. Apparently that was not the name of it. Any page that I have, I can simply select and it will make it the home page for the site. So then when I go to the URL and type it in, it'll actually load the site. Now you'll actually see the existing site as it was prior to this video, but that's how it would work. If it's live and it's published, that's exactly how it's going to look. Now continuing on in the back end, if we want to actually optimize this and make it even better, we can install 2 plugins. So let me go to plugins. We can shop around for different plugins if we want. We can go to add new plugin, and this is where we're going to be able to shop for available plugins. Most of these are free. There's some that are premium and require a payment. So I'm going to talk about 2 plugins. One is free that you can actually buy a premium version of. And then I'm going to showcase a premium plugin that you can buy and make your site even faster and more responsive. So the first plugin is called Rank Math. I'll go to pricing, but you can download this for free. It's completely free, and you can actually utilize this. The premium version has some benefits, and you can actually utilize, or you can look through all of this. But essentially what Rank Math is going to allow you to do is it's going to allow you to handle SEO a little bit better. It's going to really widen that gap from knowing absolutely nothing in regards to SEO to getting you started in some way. It's really going to dumb down some of the more advanced stuff and make it a little bit more palatable. Now, there's still a bit of a learning curve with Rank Math, but more than anything, it's going to help you with some of that more advanced stuff and get you somewhere. It's going to get you somewhere. All right. So if you wanted to install this, what you would need to do is you would go to your plugins, you would go to search, and you would type in Rank Math, and you would search. It would load, and you can see here, I already have this active, so it's not going to allow me to actually install it. But you just hit activate or install now, as you can see here, and then you activate it and you have that plugin and it's going to be on your site, and then you can utilize that tool. And that requires like its own walkthrough in its own way just to get familiarized with it. But there are plenty of tutorials on YouTube on how to do all that. The second plugin that I would really recommend for anyone that's on WordPress is called WordPress Rocket. This essentially is going to make your site much faster. And if you're currently wondering, well, how is my site doing? What you can do is you can actually go to something called Page Speed Insights. This is a Google page or a Google tool, and you can enter in the URL of your web page. So if I were to type in the page that I just had, Apex Creatives, that's my website, I can pause this and I can see how the performance is. So the tool has actually loaded up the page speed performance. I can see here that my performance is 96. On my desktop, it's a 100. Now, this website is actually not even done yet. It's still kind of being developed and everything like that. So it's not even completely done, but we're already optimized for speed because this is just kind of a install, optimize slightly, and you're good. And then you have a rock solid website when it comes to speed and performance. And with that kind of performance, with that kind of speed, that just basically makes it so that your user experience is going to be better. People are going to stay on your website a little bit longer. Google rewards websites that load really fast and are really crisp, especially on mobile. And most websites do really bad on mobile scores. You can utilize this tool, pick any website. Most websites, unless they're like a Forbes or like a big entity, if they're a local mom and pop shop, if you take a URL for those and plug it into this system, you'll see that their page speeds are really bad. So if you're looking at your competitors who are ranking in that top like 3, whether it be on Google My Business or for their SEO, you can kind of get a picture for how bad their page speed is and how you can get that slight edge over your competitors. Last thing that I'll show is just how easy Divi is. I feel like I didn't really do a good job as like how easy it is to actually utilize this stuff. So let's go back to our homepage test that we had. I'm going to go back. I'm loading it. I'm into this into the URL. This is going to be different for everyone. This is just my header, and it looks like it's not going to show my face. It might be because this is a website builder. But what I can do here is I can change this to anything that I want. If I click this, I can change the background for this. I can change the color. If I wanted to change this to, actually, sorry, that's the wrong button. If I wanted to click this, now I have control of the section. I can change this to, let's do John's Travel Agency. Okay, and then learn more. Maybe we change that to contact us, and forgive the spelling errors. Let's just roll with it. We can say this is a page for John's Travel Agency. And what's really great about this is that we can actually create system-wide font. So if you have a branding guide and you already have a font that you use for your brand, what you would actually do is you can go to design, you can go to title text, you can do, you select your H1, which is this title tag. We're going to hit our title font. We can edit our global font. So for this page, I already have global fonts installed. I've already showed that I want this font to be my header font. And for any sort of text, if I click this, let's go back to that. If I click, oops, my body text here, I can click body font. I can do that. It's saving my brand font for the page. So I don't have to kind of do this every time. I can just kind of maintain that brand consistency throughout. If I want to add different colors, I can do that here. I just have to make sure that I'm selecting the right text. So there's body text, subtitle text. I don't have a subtitle here, as well as a title text. I can edit all of this freely. If I go back and go to background, it's here that I can make adjustments to the image. I can change this out, and let's see if I can find a quick example here. Let's just do this. I can change the image just like that. It's very quick, very snappy. That's why I really like Divi. It's one of the cool things. If I didn't want to actually save those changes, I would just discard all those changes, and it's gone back to normal since the last time I saved it. Same thing goes for any of these other sort of elements. There's some more advanced stuff that you could really do and really dive deep into this builder and get situated. But for the most part, it's a really simple, snappy builder. That's why I really like it. And there's a lot of really great pre-built tools inside of this builder. So let me go ahead, save this, and in conclusion, I'll just wrap up. Let me save. So if I click here, I'm going to go down here. I'm going to save this draft. If I'm ready to publish this page, I would just click publish. Okay, so in all honesty, websites aren't super complicated, not anymore. I showed you in a few steps, just to recap, how to actually go from zero to complete website if you really wanted to. Design elements, they take time, of course, as you build out your homepage and make things associated with your brand, get your pictures that you want, and make sure that the font represents your brand, and you build out all the pages that you want, your contact pages, your service pages, all those things. It really shouldn't take that much time for you to get a really effective and well-designed site. And what I love about WordPress is that it's going to allow you to really optimize for your search engine optimization. It's really going to help you dial that in so you can actually get more leads for your site. It's awesome to have a really well-designed site, but if you're not getting any traffic to it, what's the point? With WordPress, it's really going to help you dial that in a much easier way than any other web builder. Trust me on this. And then when it comes to actually having that well-designed site, we've gotten to a point now with web builders that it's never been this easy to have a well-designed site to actually do this stuff. So you can get started on this, do this in your free time, just like any other tool, just like any other system or software. There's a little bit of a learning curve, but with all of this stuff, it really isn't too bad. And if you get caught up in stuff, Greengeeks is really helpful to help you launch your site and get it on WordPress. The Divi team, the support team there is really great to help you with the actual design elements of your site. So I hope this might clear some stuff up. I know it was maybe a little rocky of a lesson, but I wanted to record this because I see this all the time, and I see a lot of agents and a lot of business owners as a whole get kind of trapped on a site that they don't like. They spent a lot of money on these sites. If they're trapped on website builders that they don't like, that they can't do anything with. And that's another thing that I really like about WordPress. You can actually take your design and actually export it and bring it on to the next builder. If you decide, hey, I don't like Divi, I want to use Beaver Builder, or I want to use Elementor, you could download all your designs and upload them to them, and they should translate very well. And you can actually still have your site and still have your domain and your health there. It's all really, really great. That's what I like about it. So I hope this helps. If this helps one person, I'll be happy. But yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. I think within 30 minutes, if you really sat down and you did this, you could have a brand new site launched and ready to go to be optimized for SEO, let alone if you spent a whole month building a new site and really fleshing it out. I think you could have a really rock solid site with no issues whatsoever.